Are you ready for what is coming? Hey everybody, this is Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. Where am I going with this? It's a good question. Are you ready physically, mentally, spiritually? Do you have all the stuff? Food storage, water storage, preps? Those are all good things to talk about. Those are all good things to have. In this troubling world today, a lot is going on. We see what's going on overseas. We see what's going on here in our own soil. We see raising interest rates. We see things that are affecting our food supply, push for meatless agenda, eating bugs, driving electric cars, going green, having solar, wind that doesn't even make sense, whatever. Push for division, for dividing us along political lines, racial lines, or ethnic lines. There's only one race, the human race. We have different ethnicities. Yeah. But we're all the same, right? We all bleed red. That's what people need to stop. I wish people would just stop talking about things that bring about the fact that there are different skin tones, different amounts of melanin in our skin. We're all people. Just treat each other like you would your best friend. Divided along, faith-based lines, religion. Divided along poor, rich, haves, have-nots. It's just, there's so much going on. It's unsustainable. We know that. We recognize that. Our economy, not looking that great, huh? Hasn't looked that great for quite a while. It's unsustainable. And it's going to crash. I mean, no matter how much they try to prop it up, it's going to crash. Some people talk about gold and silver. Some people talk about lead, copper, and brass. Speaking of that, let's talk about training. Are you ready for what is coming? Not just having the stuff, but knowing how to use it. Not just that aspect, the tactical stuff, the going around doing the things, patrolling, squad tactics, CQB, open field stuff, recce stuff, all that stuff. That's good. And the handling of those tools and the use of those tools and the proficiency with those tools and your equipment is a very good thing to have. A lot of people start prepping that way. They get into that tactical side of things and they evolve into prepping a little bit, or a lot. It's kind of how I got started. Military background. So a lot of people with military background get started. But training isn't just that kind of stuff. Training and practicing. Training is where you gain knowledge. Practice is where you perfect it. So let's talk about practicing. You got to get the training first, though, so you know what you're doing. There are so many different things for preppers that are very important. Medical training, survival training, escape and evasion training, canning, how to get your foods to last for a long period of time, longer shelf lives, freeze drying, dehydrating, all those kind of things. Gardening, producing your own food, very important. Most people, no matter how much they garden, aren't to the point where they can provide all the calories for their family, even with animals and stuff like that. Some people are. That's awesome. I'm not to the point. But with my garden, with my tribe members, animals, our ability to find food, foraging, hunting, fishing, trapping, snaring, I've talked about that a lot before, and our garden, and our food storage, that's a good plan. We need to be training, practicing, getting ourselves proficient in as many ways as we possibly can. things are not looking good. We may not be able to forever, long-term event, just go to the hospital, go to the vet, go to the dentist, go to the store even. The more skills that we can gain right now, while times are still relatively good and relatively easy to put in the time and effort to gain these skills, these vital skills. There's so many vital skills for preparedness. It could be electronics, it could be electrical, it could be welding, it could be animal husbandry, it could be knitting. I mean, there's so many different skills out there. Work together with your tribe. When you get together, however big or small your tribe is, talk about the skill sets that each person has and their level of proficiency. Talking frankly, honestly, being honest with themselves, not trying to blow themselves up and make themselves look better than they are. Real skill level. And then talk about, list all the skills that everybody has. Then list all the other skills that nobody has. Then find the people in your group that are interested in some of those topics. Because if somebody's interested in it and excited about it, they'll learn it, they'll remember it quicker, and they'll become much more efficient and effective at those skill sets. Like I said, even if your tribe is small or large, spread it out. Everybody pick at least one skill. Just start off with one skill. Learn that. Go on YouTube, learn it. Get books to learn it. Websites, forums, blogs, all these different kind of things. Get a baseline knowledge. Then get the things you need to practice those skill sets and start practicing. Doing it yourself. Real world practice is what matters. Not just watching YouTube. Before I go any further though, I always forget. Please, if you enjoy my videos, subscribe, hit that thumbs up, share the videos, comment below. All those things that help with that thing that starts with an A that kind of doesn't really get our stuff out there for people to see as much as, adorable puppy videos or cat videos or something like that, or people doing stupid stuff. Those irrelevant videos that are a waste of time. They got to keep videos down that teach people valuable skills, but not the idiotic videos. They want to dumb us down. That's part of the agenda also. See the movie Idiocracy? Yeah, we're headed down that path. As well as 1984. That was supposed to be a warning, not an instruction manual. But here we are. It's getting more and more like that every day, every week, every month, every year. And it's unsustainable. People are going to have enough. So it's going to get to that level where, that kind of skill set may be good. Along with all the other skill sets though. So I encourage you guys to get out, train, look at sources for gaining this knowledge. Medical, you get the American Red Cross, you got different medical training you can get. You can get basic first aid, you can get TCCC, you can get, there's a lot of different, CPR, there's a lot of wound care, different classes. Some of them are free, some of them cost. But training, spending money on training is extremely valuable. Way more. Like, okay, people talk about this kind of stuff. And the seeds. And not using your seeds for training because they want to keep it for their preps, their stockpile. Have a stockpile, yes. Make sure you're using those seeds, those training aids, to become proficient. To be increasing your level of proficiency. Because it doesn't matter if you have 10,000 of those things sitting around or 1,000. I'd rather have, if I had 10,000, I'd rather set aside maybe 1,000, 2, maybe 5, and use the other 5 or more for training, for proficiency. It's a much better use of those items. Because if you don't have the level of proficiency, you're not going to be proficient. You're probably not going to survive the fight. You may become a vulnerability instead of an asset. I want you guys to be assets to yourselves, to your families, to your communities, to this nation, to the world. We have to up our game. We got to take things seriously. We got to start refining our skill sets We got to start learning new ones. We got to start perfecting our skill sets. So I want you guys to think about these things. It's very important. I love you guys. Have a wonderful day, and blessings to you and yours.